Hey, what is up, guys? Flex Media here, bringing you yet another video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. So, on the JP side of the game, there was a data download, and then actually there are a couple of units coming to global as well that we'll go over at the very end. But there's a lot more coming to JP right now. So this is LR Demon King Piccolo. If you have not heard, he is the newest local reward for the upcoming World Tournament. So for World Tournament 34, which we will be getting in just 2 World Tournaments, so not too bad. As you can see, he's dropping on the 13th. That is when the World Tournament starts. I think so anyway. Yeah, it is. So let's go over his card, though. He actually is a transforming World Tournament reward, so that is really cool. Okay, so his leader skill, Terrifying Conquerors, category key 3, and 120 to stats. I'm a big fan of the Terrifying Conquerors category, and again, this is another unit that they, that they added that is going to really help build the category, moving forward. Any more Demon King Piccolos that they add, which inevitably they will, I'm sure, they'll probably add another standalone, just like young Demon King Piccolo. As well. I mean, anyway, it's just a good buff to the category. I like the category, and it still has room for growth. But anyway, his super attack is his 12 key is the Maga Kisen. He is going to raise defense for 1 turn, and then cause colossal damage to the enemy. And his Makosen is his 18 key, and he's going to greatly raise defense for 1 turn and cause mega colossal damage to the enemy. So right there, so those are both very, very useful things to do, especially if you can greatly raise his defense, which you're going to see in a second with his passive is not going to be challenging to do. So his passive skill is a Great Wish, and it's attack plus 6,000 per key sphere obtained, and he's going to reduce damage by 50% with 5 or more key spheres obtained, and he's going to randomly change key spheres of a certain type, 2 tech key spheres, and he's going to rejuvenate with the power of the Dragon Balls when conditions are met, which is his transformation. So let's kind of break down his passive a little bit. So when he gets 5 or more key spheres, he then gets 50% damage reduction. So essentially you've just popped a King Yema for anyone attacking him. So that's very, very good, and we'll go down to his stats here. Well, we can just look at him now. But, like, he's got, like, 14,000 defense. Like, geez, man, he's not going to be taking any damage, even untransformed. And then, of course, he's going to be getting, attack 6,000. So he's going to be hitting decently hard, and he's an orb changer. So, he's creating his own orbs. So he's going to be good on any team that he's on, but I think specifically he's going to fit in best on the sort of the Kid Goku team, the Dragon Ball Saga / youth team. But anyway, his transformation conditions are kind of a bummer. Rejuvenate with the power of the Dragon Ball starting from the 7th turn from the start of battle when there is a Dragon Ball Saga, World Tournament, or Dragon Ball Seekers category enemy. So Dragon Ball Saga and World Tournament, you're practically never going to see. I think there are a couple stages in Super Battle Road where there might be like some World Tournament cards that you're up against, but you are so unlikely to encounter World Tournament or Dragon Ball Saga. Now, Dragon Ball Seekers is a little more common, so like you've got like the Zamasus and like some of the Friezas and stuff like that. They're going to be on Dragon Ball Seekers, so you'll at least encounter them a little bit more. But let's go over his links. Revival, Demon, Incredible Adventure, Guidance of the Dragon Balls, Nightmare, Shattering the Limit, and Legendary Power. So, of course, like, you can see why he'd fit in best with that Guidance of the Dragon Balls link. That's going to be your best bet, running him on that Dragon Ball Saga team. His categories: Resurrected Warriors, Namekians, Full Power, Dragon Ball Seekers, Time Travelers, Dragon Ball Saga, and Terrifying Conquerors. So, and then his stats are actually quite good. 17,000 HP, 19,000 attack, 14,500 on the defensive stats. So a very, very nice card. I'm really looking forward to when this comes to global, because I want to. I mean, it's going to be probably on global. I mean, we probably won't be able to rainbow this dude for close to a full year, maybe like 8 months or something like that, because World Tournaments these days are only every other month, I'm pretty sure. So, if you kind of extrapolate that, so we won't get this for another 2 months, maybe it might be more. So, because we're on the 32nd, and will we be? I think we'll be doing the 33rd. I don't know. We'll go over it in a minute. But anyway, let's go over his transformed version before I make this video too long. So this is, of course, young Demon King Piccolo, after he wishes to be young from the Dragon Balls, and he has a really cool transformation. So leader skill doesn't change. His super attack is now the explosive Mega Kisun, which is going to raise attack and defense for 1 turn and cause colossal damage. And the explosive Makosen, his 18 key, is going to greatly raise attack and defense for 1 turn and cause mega colossal damage. So again, getting that great raise of defense is going to be super helpful for you. And his passive skill, he basically just gets like a little bit better with each of the things he does. So now he gets attack 6666 per key sphere obtained, and he's going to reduce damage received by 66% for 5 turns from the start of turn, and reduces damage by 50% with 5 or more key spheres starting from the 6th turn. Randomly changes key spheres of a certain type, of course excluding tech to tech key spheres. So he wouldn't change like tech to tech, right? So, and then his links, he actually does get a different link, right? Instead of having Demon, he then gets Thirst for Conquest. So that's, you know, going to be making him hit considerably harder if you can get that link to activate. So I think his best linking partner will probably be the STR Demon King Piccolo, if I had to guess. I'm going to share most of those links with him. And then, of course, his categories don't change. So, but his passive skill, guys, the 66% damage reduction, that's higher than like in Future Gohan. You know, you're sort of approaching Tech Golden Frieza territory there with that 66%. He's going to be very, very good defensively, guys. He's not going to even take much damage from like Int UI Goku. Now the problem is, you know, I don't think he'd have his 66% damage reduction when you get to Int UI Goku, unless you just blitz through that event, which I guess is possible, but more than likely you won't. So that's kind of the bummer of this card, I would say, is I love the card. Like, I love the card, but his transformation condition is just a bummer. Like, you're just not going to see it very often. So if we look again, it's 7 turns, or if you're up against those 3 separate category enemies. So, but anyway, guys, is there anything else we need to know in terms of the numbers, like the detailed numbers? His 12 key multiplier 140, 24 key 200, that's pretty standard. And then the SA multiplier is, of course, raising it by 30% is just a normal raise, and then a great raise is 50%. But we do have quite a few more units to go over. Okay, so here's Int Blue Vegeta. As you can see, he comes out on the 10th. You know, that's, you know, no surprise, right? We already knew that. And I believe his data leaked sometime yesterday. So, you know, I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but I was sort of taking a day off from YouTube. It was really nice to spend some time with the family, the wife and the baby, so please forgive me. But sometimes more to life than Dokkan, eh? But again, you know, some of this stuff, like, we already kind of knew. Like, we knew his leader skill, type key 3, 120 to stats. That's sort of like more or less was set in stone with the 100% leaders. Now, his super attack is going to cause immense damage to the enemy and then raise attack and defense by 50% for 3 turns. Now, that is a great raise of attack and defense, so him greatly stacking for 3 turns, I was hoping maybe they'd bump it up to 9, but, you know, I think I think it's still really going to make him good. Now, one thing I would say is, depending on if you have this guy rainbowed or not, I would definitely, if you pull more copies of him in the future, I would consider, or if you have the stones to spare, I would consider respecking him to have mostly additionals. You know, you want to give him a little bit of crit as well, but you're really, I think he's going to be much more useful to you as a defensive unit if you can get, you know, at least 1 more additional super attack before he's done stacking his attack and defense. So, but hey, the choice is yours. Now, his passive skill, attack 120%, which is up from No, that's up from attack 100%. So extreme class enemies, attack and defense minus 20%, and a high chance of stunning extreme class enemies when attacking. And then super class realm of gods, category allies, defense plus 50%. So remember that he himself is an ally. So he's essentially getting, defense 50%. And then any other realm of gods unit, that's of the super class, they're going to be getting 50% defense. So, I mean, just for instance, I don't know, Fizz Vegito Blue or, any other really, really busted units. Just giving them extra defense and just making them that much more viable in events you run them in is super, super awesome. I love that they went sort of the opposite way of the Tech Zamasu, which really makes me wonder what they're going to do with that Spirit Sword Trunks, the Int one. They're going to have to make him really, really good. Because originally that was sort of his counterpart, but now they've made this Int Vegeta his counterpart. Because remember, the Tech Merge Zamasu, who we'll be getting pretty soon here, but the Tech Merge Zamasu is giving extreme class Realm of Gods category allies defense 50%. So you'll be able to split up your rotations to super and extreme, or just straight up split up the team to super and extreme. So there you go. But anyway, his links: Super Saiyan, Saiyan Warrior Race, Warrior Gods, Prodigies, Royal Lineage, Prepared for Battle, and Fierce Battle. Now he's got Warrior Gods and he's got Prodigies. And let's see, who is he going to link up the best with? Tough to say. I suppose he'd link up. He's Prepared for Battle. And he's got Warrior Gods. I suppose that would make him link up well with like LR Vegito Blue. They would share Super Saiyan as well. So that would be a solid linking partner for him. But is there a perfect one? I guess that time will tell. But his categories: Realm of Gods, Pure Saiyans, Future Saga, Time Travelers, Vegeta's Family, Siblings Bond, Worthy Rivals, Bond of Master and Disciple, and Explosion of Anger. So he's got a ton of categories. Let's go to his stats real quick. So there you go. 17,300 roughly is his attack stat. And then are there any other detailed numbers we really need to know about? His 12 key multiplier 140, and he's going to stack attack for 50%, by 50% for 3 turns, and then a 40% chance to stun the extreme class enemies for 1 turn. So remember that when you stun from your passive, it's only a 1-turn stun. So essentially the remainder of that turn, you have the chance of stunning extreme class enemies. So 50% chance is not bad. Or did they say 40%? Let's see. Somehow I missed that. There you go. 40% chance to stun enemies. So that's still, it's still really good. So he's going to be very, very nice in something like Super Battle Road. And then, of course, providing that defense is going to be super awesome. But we do have a few more units to go over, and then we'll hop over to the global side of the game. Okay, so here we go. This is actually a World Tournament reward card that is now getting an awakening. So I actually do have a copy or two of this guy. So this is extremely exciting when he comes to global. But again, he's getting his awakening and he is super good. He's probably one of the very top World Tournament reward cards. So let's go over him real quick. His leader skill is super. This is, of course, a teen Gohan. I don't know if I mentioned that. There you go. Fabled Warrior of Justice in Town. That's kind of funny. Super Saiyan Gohan Teen. So there you go. His leader skill, Super Class, Key 2, 60% to defense. So pretty good. I'm not a huge fan of the Key 2, but at the very least, he's got Shattering the Limit, I guess. So I guess it could be worse. But that's not really why you want this guy. So his super attack is going to cause supreme damage with a medium chance of stunning the enemy, which of course is really nice. A medium chance is either 25 or 30%, so not bad. His passive skill is attack and defense 58%, and he's going to reduce damage received by 58%, and then super class Key 2 and 30% to stats, or to attack and defense. So guys, that's really, really good. So not only is he reducing damage by 58%, so that's similar to like, in Future Gohan, when he transforms, he gets that 58% damage reduction. And we all know how good defensively he is. So he'll be good even into the deep depths of the Legendary Goku event. He'll be good. So his, and then of course he is providing Key 2 and 30% to stats for Superclass allies. So he's going to be really good on any team you run him on. His links: Super Saiyan, Golden Warrior, Saiyan Lineage, Saiyan Warrior Race, Z Fighters, Hero of Justice, and Shattering the Limit. So not the best links in the world. I mean, he's got like some good attack links there, but you know, when are you going to be able to activate Hero of Justice? I guess if you have him linked up with a Great Saiyan Man card, I suppose that would be the time. So he would actually probably fit in well on the Majin Buu saga, maybe next to the other Great Saiyan Man, right? The one that just released, well, sort of just released, with the Majin Vegeta and Angel Super Saiyan 2 Goku. I guess that would probably be a good linking partner for him. They might share Z Fighters as well. I don't remember the links right offhand. But you can see his categories: Hybrid Saiyans, Majin Buu Saga, Goku's Family, Siblings Bond, and Super Saiyans. So as you can see, he's definitely going to be limited by his stats, but again, you know, he's a World Tournament reward card, so. And of course, he's awakening from that guy. And that is indeed a 30% chance to stun the enemy for 2 turns, so. This dude is really, really good. Do not sleep on this guy. If you pull this guy from the World Tournament reward banner, definitely get excited because he is super good. But we have a couple more units to go over. All right, so this is a new World Tournament reward card. This is a full power or a max power Jackie Chun, so that's really cool. He is the first card of his name, so there are no other Jackie Chun full powers. So it's really cool. He's actually quite good. Now, just keep in mind that he is just a Z Awakened UR, so just a normal SSR, no Dokkan Awakening yet. So when he gets his Dokkan Awakening, he's going to be real good. His leader skill: Fizz type, Key 2, and then 50% to stats. You know, again, when he awakens, hopefully they bump that up to Key 3. Super attack is the Kamehameha. Causes supreme damage and greatly lowers defense. You know, greatly lowering defense, if that's all you do, that's not that cool. I guess he could straight up get nothing, but maybe when he awakens, they'll give him greatly lowering attack and defense, or massively lowering defense, I think would be nice. So his passive skill, I'm actually really, really jazzed about. Attack and defense 130% when performing a super attack. So remembering that he's going to get big time buffs when he's with support type units that are providing attack. So like he's going to be able to hit, you know, quite hard with support on rotation. And then of course he's giving Kamehameha category allies Key 2 and attack 20%. So I have been clamoring for a Kamehameha support unit. The only one that really comes to mind, the only like real viable one these days, is the Tech Goku Gohan exchange unit. And he only provides support to Goku's family units. You know, essentially he was made for AGL SS, you know, 2 Gohan, the new one. Essentially that's who he was made for, because then he gets a massive attack buff with a Super Saiyan Goku on rotation. So, but anyway, guys, that is very, very exciting. And then, again, when he awakens, they'll probably give him either, you know, Key 2 and attack 40%, or, you know, Key 2 and then attack and defense plus 20%. So I'm very, very excited, especially when this dude awakens. He's going to be quite good. His links are kind of, well, they're decent, I guess. Supreme Warrior, World Tournament Champion, Guidance of the Dragon Balls, Incredible Adventure, Brainiacs, and Kamehameha. So only 6 links, but probably, you know, definitely he'll get Shattering the Limit when he awakens. And then I really like him on that the Dragon Ball Saga team, right? Categories: World Tournament, Full Power, Dragon Ball Saga, and Kamehameha. His attack is pretty high for not having a Dokkan Awakening yet. So again, he's going to be hitting very, very hard and actually defending quite well when he awakens. At least he's got access to the Hidden Potential system, though. He's not just like an SR like the Ox King, right? So 2 more units to go over on the JP side of the game, and then we'll switch on over to Global. Okay, so here's our boy Tien. Now, as you guys know, the 40% support units are now all awakening into the 50% support units. So Tien, guys, he's going to be exceptional on the Reps of Universe 7 team, even though he's not from the Tournament of Power or anything. He is an Android Cell Saga Tien, but of course he fits under the Goku and Frieza secondary leader skill. So he's going to be very, very good on that team. let's go over his card. Basically, all these cards are the same. Just basically, there's subtle differences, like on the effects of their super attacks. So, but his leader skill is Super Tech Type Key 4, and then 120 to stats. Very nice, of course. He's going to cause supreme damage to the enemy and greatly lower attack and defense. I love that ability of greatly lowering attack and defense. Just completely neutering opponents on Super Battle Road is really going to help you win, you know, especially if you are struggling on Super Battle Road. Tien is a unit like Tien, being able to do that stuff is going to be really, really helpful. His passive skill is Deadly Posture, and that is going to provide all attack type Key 3 plus an additional attack and defense 50% for Super Tech type, and he's going to randomly change key spheres of a certain type to Tech, and then of course we're excluding Tech, and then attack and defense 20% per Tech, well, per key sphere obtained. So as you guys know, again, that part is basically the same on all of these units. His links: Z Fighters, Crane School, Cold Judgment, Rival Duo, Experienced Fighters, Over in a Flash, and Shattering the Limit. So he's going to be sharing Over in a Flash and Rival Duo with LR Goku and Frieza. And then in terms of his other links, yeah, I really, really like him on the Last Resort category as well, with the Tech Vegito, the new LR Tech Vegito. That's going to be really, really cool for him. And then what else? I don't know. Does LR Goku and Frieza have Experienced Fighters? I'm not sure, but he would share Cold Judgment with like Supreme Kai of Time as well on that Last Resort team. So of course she fits under the Patara version of that team. And then his stats are, you know, pretty good, right? So 12 key multiplier 140, lowers attack and defense by 30% for 3 turns. So let's go over Cell real quick. Alright guys, so this is the last card that we need to go over on the JP side of the game. Again, a big data download, right? So, and actually a game update as well. So this is Pursuit of Perfect Existence, Cell second form. And this guy is also significant. Number one, he's a really good unit. These support units are all really, really good. You know, but also, he's like the very best and like the only second form Cell in the game. I believe there's like a Strength SR Cell. Like just a normal SR that awakens into an SSR. So, you know, that also makes him significant. But, you know, again, very, very similar to the TN. Extreme Tech Type Key 4 and then 120 to stats. His Big Bang Crash is going to cause supreme damage and greatly lower attack and defense. His passive skill, Tech Type Key 3, an additional attack and defense 50% for extreme Tech Type units, and randomly changes key spheres of a certain type to Tech Key Spheres, and then attack and defense 20% per key sphere obtained. Messenger from the Future, Big Bad Bosses, Attack of the Clones, Wall Standing Tall, Nightmare, Brutal Beatdown, and Shattering the Limit are his links. So I really, really like him. Let's go over his categories. Androids, Transformation Boost, Time Travelers, Artificial Life Forms, Android Cell Saga, and Target Goku. Now, I really, really like him on that Time Travelers team. If you get him next to, so for instance, the LR, Rose, and Zamasu, that's a unit that really doesn't need the attack, but I mean, hey, you can always use attack. But him giving that defense to them is so helpful for that card. They are a unit that is absolutely dying for defense. And if you get them next to, for instance, this Tech Cell, and then you have, the physical Gowasu and Zamasu right next to them, I mean, all of a sudden they've got a ton of defense, and they actually become viable on even like the Legendary Goku event. So I love him on that team. He's going to get a lot of these links on the Artificial Life Forms team, however, or the Androids team, I guess. But like Wall Standing Tall, you know, he's only going to get that on Artificial Life Forms, you know, linked up with like a Majin Buu. And then Nightmare, I believe that LR Goku, you know, Rose Goku Black and Zamasu, I think they have Nightmare. Or maybe they have Brutal Beatdown. I'd have to double check that, but of course they would share Big Bad Bosses with them as well. So I really, really like this Cell. I think Cell, I mean, to be honest, I might even like a little better than Tien. I guess we'll see. I'll see how the gameplay sort of shakes out. At some point, I'll get all of these support units. I do not have them all. I have a really hard time summoning on blue coin banners, so it just kind of is what it is, right? It's not my thing. I do like these units, but you know, I don't know, man. I'm just not really willing to go ham. But anyway, guys, let's kind of switch gears, and I want to go over some rewards coming to global, and then a couple of EZAs coming to global. Okay, so these next two units are World Tournament reward cards, and I would highly recommend, guys, if you're going to grind any World Tournament, grind this World Tournament, because these ladies are very, very good, especially if you don't have sort of the newer cards, the Tech Caulifla and the STR Kale. Definitely grind these ladies up. And then, of course, they don't even have Dokkan Awakenings yet, and they're still really good. So let's go over them real quick. This is, of course, Int, just base form Caulifla. So she's going to provide super int type key 2 and 70% to stats. That again will increase, hopefully to like maybe key 3 90%. That would be really nice when she awakens. And then her super attack, she is going to infinitely stack attack and defense and cause supreme damage to the enemy. Stacking attack and defense is never going to be a bad thing. So I really, really like that. Her passive skill is Exaltation on the big stage. Attack and defense 60%, and then attack and defense 10% per Universe 6 category ally on the team. A high chance, or a 50% chance, I believe it's 50%, of evading enemies' attack, including super attack, and launches an additional super attack when your team has an ally whose name includes Kale attacking in the same turn. So we'll go over what that means here in a minute. Her links: the Saiyan Lineage, Saiyan Warrior Race, Battlefield Diva, Prodigies, Warriors of Universe 6, and Tournament of Power. Her categories are Peppy Gals, Universal Survival Saga, Pure Saiyans, and Universe 6. So, and then it is indeed a 50% chance to evade enemy super attack. But let's go over her passive a little bit. Now, this is one of those situations, so let's look at that last part of the passive. Launches an additional super attack when your team has an ally whose name includes Kale attacking in the same turn. So what does that mean? Well, basically, you know, that could also mean Kale and Caulifla. So that's base form Kale and Caulifla, or Super Saiyan 1 or Super Saiyan 2 Kale and Caulifla. Or, of course, you know, just Kale as well. But, you know, gonna make her a lot better. Essentially, these cards, from what I can tell, they're made to be run with either, you know, a Kale or a Kale and Caulifla on the same rotation. So let's kind of go over her partner, the other reward. Okay, so this is Rapid Growth Sensation Kale, and again, neither of these have Dokkan Awakenings, so just always keep that in mind. Again, she's just part of this, you know, these World Tournament cards are just very good now. They're definitely worth grinding at least the one copy, and then maybe you can just hope to pull them in the future, just like me, because I don't go super hard in the World Tournament these days. So her leader skill is Super Tech type, Key 2, and then 70% to stats. She's going to infinitely stack attack and defense and cause supreme damage to the enemy. So her passive skill is Tension on the big stage. Universe 6 category allies attack 20% and defense 10%, and then Pure Saiyans category allies attack 20% and defense 10%. So that's really cool, right? So she's, you know, another one of these units that, like the Hellfighter 17, like the World Tournament Goku Black, who are giving 40% attack and 20% defense to a lot of different units, and then at the bare minimum providing attack 20% and then defense 10%. So you could easily run her on a Universe 6 team. And let's say for whatever reason, you know, you wanted to run, you know, Tech Hit or like Fizz Champa or something, at least she'd be providing something to them. And then anyway, the rest of it is defense 120% and launches an additional super attack when your team has an ally whose name includes Caulifla attacking in the same turn. So again, the same thing. It's whose name includes Caulifla. So it could be Kale and Caulifla, or it could just simply be a different Caulifla. So either Tech Caulifla or this new Int Caulifla. So her links: Saiyan Lineage, Saiyan Warrior Race, Battlefield Diva, Rival Duo, Warriors of Universe 6, and Tournament of Power. So quite clearly going to link up well with the new Int Caulifla. Her categories: Peppy Gals, Universal Survival Saga, Pure Saiyans, and Universe 6. And then you can see her stats. 11k is not bad pre-awakening for that attack stat. And there you have it, guys. So those are the new World Tournament rewards that we will be getting on the global side of the game. And then remember that this World Tournament starts this Thursday. I'm pretty sure this Thursday. It always depends on where you live, because shit for me, so like Thursday technically means like Friday for me. So, but anyway, it's very, very exciting. I'm very happy to get these two gals. But we have just a couple of EZAs that we have yet to go over on the global side of the game. Okay, so this is the newly EZA'd Hopeless Minus Energy Omega Shenron. He'll be coming to global, I think, on the 12th, right? Yes, March 12th. So, of course, that means, 30 free stones as well, along with this bomb-ass unit. So let's go over him quickly. I've been over him already. And actually I just did a showcase of him on Full Power Super Battle Road, so go ahead and check that out if you have not already. But his leader skill is STR type key 4 and 100% to stats. His super attack is going to cause immense damage and massively lower defense. So massively lowering is a huge number. That is an 80% reduction in damage. Or, I'm sorry, in defense. So that's actually pretty significant. So he's going to be doing, monster damage. His passive is Evil Domination, and he's going to be getting attack and defense 80%. And then full power category allies are key 2, attack plus 40%. And then the most important part of his passive is just insane. All enemies attack minus 40%. So that is insane. That 40% reduction in attack is so powerful. And again, guys, go check out that Super Battle Road video. Just check out when he's on rotation, man. You don't need items. You don't need shit. All you need is him. So anyway, his links. And then, of course, Full Power really, really needed a support unit that provided key, because that team is so damn wonky. If you're running that Full Power team, this dude is damn near a must run. He's very, very good. And then, of course, remember that he himself is an ally. So he's going to be getting a separately calculated attack plus 40% on top of his attack and defense 80%. So he's going to be hitting pretty hard, somewhere in the 2 million range. So his links: Brutal Beatdown, Fear and Faith, Big Bad Bosses, Shocking Speed, GT, Shadow Dragons, and Fierce Battle. And his categories are really the only thing that holds him back: Shadow Dragon, Saga, and Full Power. You can basically only run him on the Full Power team, and that's just kind of the unfortunate part of his card, because of course the only viable Shadow Dragons lead is Omega Shenron. And then his stats are not insane, but it doesn't matter. He's doing so much. I mean, he's just a debuffing machine. 12 key multiplier is 150%, and then you can see massively lowering defense for 3 turns on his super attack is just insane. In a godly link set, he's just really good. When we finally get a new Shadow Dragons lead, this dude is going to be an absolute, again, a must run on that team. In terms of EZAs, like if you look at his EZA just in a vacuum without his teams and like knowing what teams he can be run on, he's like a top 5 EZA. But he's just so incredibly limited on, you could only run him on full power right now. So hopefully that, my prediction comes true and we get a new Shadow Dragon Saga leader on the 6th year anniversary. We have a couple... I do want to go over the Extreme EZArea units, even though I know no one runs them. Let's just go ahead and go over them real quick. Okay, guys, so this is the one and only Trollhan, soaring new generation Super Saiyan Gohan Youth. Of course, is getting his Extreme EZArea. So what they do is they just tack on another level to the Extreme EZArea. And he'll be dropping on the 10th, which is, tomorrow, right? Tomorrow, the next day. So, we'll be getting that, so you can enjoy your 2 stones and, hour of grinding or so. What I will say is, as you do these Extreme Z areas, they at least get a little bit easier, because then you have newly like Extreme Z awakened units. So it'll at least be easier to run the events. But let's kind of go over them real quick. And we're only looking at post EZA, because you don't want to look at them pre EZA. His leader skill, all types, key 3, 40% to stats. So of course he'll be useful to run as the leader on that Extreme Z area. And his super attack is going to greatly raise defense for 1 turn. Not bad, actually, and cause supreme damage. His passive skill is key 4, and attack and defense 70%, plus an additional attack plus 70% when there's an ally whose name includes Goku, excluding Goku Youth, Captain Ginyu Goku, or Goku Jr. So essentially, you know, SS1, SS2, SS3, you know, SS4, SSG, and then SSB Gokus. So all of those go, and then base form Goku as well. So if you run any of those, because again, it's a whose name includes type situation, so that is significant. So he's going to get a big attack buff when you have one of those attacking in the same turn. So probably a good idea would be to run, if you're going to run him on an actual team, go ahead and bring that exchange unit along with you. His links: Super Saiyan, Saiyan Warrior Race, Golden Warrior, Gaze of Respect, Kamehameha, and Shattering the Limit. His categories: Hybrid Saiyans, Goku's Family, Youth, Super Saiyan, Android Cell Saga, Kamehameha, and Bond of Master and Disciple. We can look at his max EZA stats as well. So again, this guy, you know, 15k is not terrible for an attack stat. You know, that's like Evolution Blue Vegeta's attack stat. 12 key multiplier is pretty low, but you know, he's a very, very old unit, and they don't update those. So this is the thing. So this guy's good. He just happens to have the same name as like LRAGL Gohan. So that's the big problem, is just like he is by far like the second or like maybe even the third best option to run. So I don't know, you know, he might be, let's see, who else? I suppose he would like, he'd be better than like running the TUR of the int Gohan, right? And, you know, because some people, you know, used to do that back in the day. If you pulled a bunch of copies, you save the TUR and you can run the TUR. This guy would be better than him, at least. So I'm definitely going to grind up these guys. And again, because they are going to get easier as you grind up the units. So, and then next, well, the week after this, so not on the 10th, but on the 17th, we have another unit being added. So let's go ahead and go over that Piccolo real quick. Okay, guys. So this is we're going to be getting him on the 17th. And this is a True Masters Dignity Piccolo. So remembering that all Piccolo units are named the same. So he's going to be coming again on the 17th of March. And he's actually pretty good. I think in a lot of situations you'd want to run him on some of these teams. So yeah, again, we're not going to look at anything pre-EZA. But his leader skill, all types, key 3, 40% to stats. Again, you know, we already went over that. Going to be good for the Extreme Z areas going forward. His super attack is going to cause supreme damage and greatly lower defense. Not the best ability, but his passive is quite good. All allies, defense 77%. That is very, very good. And then he's going to be providing key 1 and attack 20% per Bond of Master and Disciple category ally on the team. So he is going to be getting that buff. So key 1, attack 20% per Bond of Master and Disciple category ally. So that would, you know, in theory be up to, I don't know if I think they count the lead, the friend lead as well. So that could be up to 7, right? So 140% attack, 77% defense, and then he's providing all of his allies 77% defense. His links: First Awakened is a very good link. You know, you're basically going to share it with the newly Extreme Z awakened Super Saiyan Goku, the AGL one that, you know, I just made a video on that Extreme Z area. He shares that link with him. Prodigies, Experienced Fighters, Namekians, Gaze of Respect, Soul versus Soul, and Shattering the Limit. His categories are Namekians, Worthy Rivals, Bond of Master, and Disciple. Now, I know a lot of you are thinking, oh, you can't even run them, you know, if you have Dokkan Fest Piccolo. Well, that's true. Dokkan Fest Piccolo, though, doesn't provide 77% defense to the whole rotation. So there might be times where you want to run this guy. You know, if you're running, you know, challenging events, you know, remembering that Piccolo can only transform on his own team, essentially, right? So, because I don't believe Nail is not on Bond of Master and Disciple, so that's basically it. You can transform Piccolo with him on his own team, but other than that, man, I don't see any reason why you can't run this guy. He's quite good. He can hit pretty hard as well. I think particularly he's going to be useful on that Bond of Master and Disciple team, considering he gives himself attack and key. So 12 key multiplier, 140, that's pretty standard, nothing crazy there. And then his max EZA stats, yeah, pretty good, man. That's a very high HP stat, decent attack. And guys, I know that this has been a long video, but we had a lot to go over. So if you enjoy long videos like this, and if you've made it this far, slap a like on the video. It really helps support my channel. Consider subscribing if you're new and becoming part of the Flex family. I love all you guys. Thank you for your support, and I'll catch you in the next one. Later.